Hi everyone, welcome back to Beauty Beyond 40. Today's video is my 2025 beauty device routine video. I look forward to making this video every year, and I know so many of you have been waiting so patiently for me to make this video. If you've been watching my channel, you know that 2025 is the year of the jowls. And up until now, I've been doing a series of device tests on my jowls area to tighten up the area and just to maintain the overall appearance of my jowls because I'm really happy with how it's been looking. So far this year, I have tested microcurrent devices, radio frequency devices, laser devices, and I finally have all the tests done, and I am ready to share with you my beauty device routine that I will be following for the rest of 2025 and most likely into 2026. And I will continue making a new beauty device routine video every year because so many devices launch and I test them out to see if there's something better for my skin concerns or something better that might be suitable for you watching. So today's video is going to focus on my skin concerns, and I'm going to talk you through what I'm using and why, and talk you through other devices I'm not using because they might be suitable for you. So we have a lot to cover in today's video, but before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name's Trina. I'm 50 years old. I make videos mostly about beauty devices. So if you're interested in this topic, I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel before you leave. I'm also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and I will leave links to all of this down in the description below. Now, because today's video is going to be quite long, we have a lot to cover. I have included chapters in this video, just like I do with all my YouTube videos, so you can skip around if there's a specific section that you're most interested in watching. And no, none of the devices that I'm talking about today cause facial fat loss. These are all at-home devices. They either don't get hot enough or they don't reach the fat layer. I have been using these devices for almost 10 years now, and I still have all my facial fat, so I wanted to bring that up right at the beginning of the video because I get asked this question in almost every single video that I make. It's very important to follow the manual, especially when you're using a heat-based device so you don't use it too often. But if you use the devices as directed, you will not see any facial fat loss. If you have heard of devices causing facial fat loss, that's most likely devices in the professional setting that have different settings and are much hotter, or devices that are for the body, which are very different than devices for the face. But I don't want to cause any facial fat loss in my face or my neck or my chin, so I don't use any devices that cause facial fat loss, so please don't worry. Now that we have that out of the way, I have an agenda to follow today. First, I'm gonna go over the core devices that I am using in my schedule. So I have a core set of devices that I will be using regularly now through the end of the year and into 2026. I'm going to review a couple new devices that I just got that I'm going to start testing to figure out if they're going to be added to my core list of devices. I'm not sure yet because there's always something new to test, and just as I'm settling into my 2025 device routine, of course I have two new devices to test. So that's just the nature of the space. It's a very complex, complicated space, and there's no easy answer, and aging is very complex as well. So I am excited to test these new devices, and I'm sure you're going to be excited to hear about them briefly in this video. And then next on the list is devices that I will be using sometimes or as needed. Then next will be the devices I've stopped using, and I will explain why. And then at the very end, I'm going to walk you through how I created my monthly beauty device schedule. I did this for August. I did this in pencil so that I can move things around and edit things as needed because I do often make changes to the way that I have this set up. And this schedule works for me based on the devices I'm using, based on my schedule and my lifestyle, and based on how it works for me. Everybody watching will have different skin concerns, will be using different devices for different things, and I get asked all the time, can you share your device schedule with us? I don't think it makes sense for me to share this with everyone because this is mine for me, for my specific concerns and my schedule, and it makes sense for me. So I will walk you through how I did this. I'm really into paper because I like to see things visually laid out. This is just something that I grab every morning and take a look at to see how am I going to plan my day to make sure I can get the devices done this day that I need to do. Testing devices is my full-time job. And so that's another reason why I don't know that this makes sense for everyone watching, because I don't know that everyone has the time to commit to all of these devices that I'm using. So that's another reason why I don't know that it makes sense for you to just use my schedule exactly. I will share this with you and we will talk about that more in that section of the video. I wanted to make sure to address this because I've been getting asked more and more about my schedule. So the first section includes my core devices that I'm using ongoing in my schedule. And there's a big caveat around this in that I have the best of the best devices. It is my job to test beauty devices. So I literally have every device I could possibly want. And so I've tested them all, and I've created a schedule and a collection of devices that works the best for me based on my skin concerns and what I'm trying to tackle. Just because I'm using one device and not another device doesn't mean it's better. It just means that it's better for me based on what I'm trying to treat and my schedule, for example. I don't want you to feel bad that you made a bad purchase if a device that you love using is not in my core set of devices. That just means that I found something that works best for me. So I will talk you through that. And I'm sure that if I'm not using it in my core collection, that device on your mind will be covered later in the video and we can talk through that. For example, the NVIG Edge is a wonderful radio frequency device. I am no longer using this in my core collection. That does not mean this isn't a wonderful device that I recommend to anyone watching. You just have to have the right skin concerns for this to make sense for you. And it doesn't make sense for me anymore, and I will explain why later on in the video. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that Tripolar is one of my most favorite manufacturers of radio frequency devices. They're high quality and they work. It's just not a good fit for me right now. Today's video is gonna cover from the head down to the neck and chest. Starting at the head and my hair, I'm using the Eye Restore hair helmet. And the reason why I love this is because it has laser and LED. And I think this is the best solution to regrow my hair. And I have had a lot of hair loss along my hairline when I first started perimenopause, and I've been using a lot of hair devices, and my hair is looking a lot thicker and a lot better lately. And I've been using this for just a little over a month. And I really, really love this device. It's hands-free, it's so easy to use. You use this 3 times a week for 25 minutes. So this is my go-to pick for hair regrowth. Next up is Microcurrent, my most favorite device modality. It was my first love in the beauty device category, and I still really love it. I'm currently still using my MyoLift Mini with the gloves and my Zip Halo. These are my 2 go-to microcurrent devices that are in my schedule. Both of these devices are stimulating ATP, which is cellular energy. They are stimulating collagen and elastin production. So over time, you will see improvements in your face muscles and your skin. Just like with all the devices in my routine today, you have to stay consistent. And the results from microcurrent are both immediate and cumulative. And I'm using the Zip Halo twice a week, and I'm using the MyoLift Mini with the gloves routine twice a month. The reason why I like these 2 microcurrent devices for mature skin is because you have a lot more control and a lot more features than other microcurrent devices offer. In general, microcurrent targets the muscles. As we mature, there are certain muscles that I don't think we should be tightening anymore. And with the MyoLift Mini, they have erase and educate mode. So erase lengthens the muscles and stretches out the muscles, and then educate lifts, tightens, and tones the muscles. And when you use the gloves, you can really get a great facial massage and have a lot of control, and you can sculpt your face how you want to, and you can finish the routine so quickly because the gloves allow you to cover so much surface area on your face at once. So I like to use the MyoLift Mini 1 to 2 times a month, and I like to use erase to lengthen and stretch out my neck, and to lengthen and stretch out my depressor muscles and stretch this whole area, because what happens is if you tighten up the neck muscles and you tighten up these muscles here, the depressor muscles underneath your mouth here, it's going to pull down your whole face and it will help jowls form more easily. That might not be a top concern when you're younger, say in your 30s, but now that I'm 50, I want to be really careful that I'm lengthening this whole area. I also want to use erase on my forehead lines and my 11 lines and my crow's feet, so I can smooth out this whole area here to keep it youthful looking. And then I want to use educate, which is the muscle tightening waveform. I want to use that on my cheeks and my jawline and the sides of my face to really pull up my face and lift, tighten, and tone those muscles. So you can get really targeted and really precise about how you are shaping your face using microcurrent. And I think that's really important as we mature. It's very important to note that you should only do microcurrent on the sides of your neck. Never target the center of your neck where your throat and thyroid are. If you want to address this area, you can use other modalities, but don't use microcurrent. And I've been using the MyoLift Mini for a really long time, and I am definitely in maintenance mode, which is why I can afford to do it just 1 to 2 times a month. And the routine takes, I think, like 15 to 20 minutes to do the whole thing. So that's very attainable for me to do once or twice a month. And then in between using the MyLift Mini, I love to use the Zip Halo device because it has nano current, which targets the skin to smooth out the skin and rejuvenate the skin. And then it also has microcurrent to lift, tighten, and tone the muscles. So twice a week, I'm going to be using the Zip Halo Founder's Favorite Routine, which is a nano current routine. It's 10 minutes. And I use it on the sides of my neck and all over my face because I'm smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles. And I can do it over my depressor muscles and all over my face. That's 10 minutes, nano current, and then I move on to the lift routine, which is 4 minutes, and that's a tightening waveform. So I will stay away from the depressor and the neck, and I will just lift, tighten, and tone and sculpt my cheeks and my jawline and my hooded eyes as well. I do that as well with the MyLift Mini. I lift up my hooded eyes. I keep the lifting to the sides of my face and lift and tighten up my face and improve my jowls area. The other routines I like to use on the Zip Halo are the jowls routine. And if I have extra time or I want to focus on an area that's bothering me, I love the lips routine. I love the eyes routine. I love the problem solver for this acne flare-up that I have. I love the electric tone to help with my pigment. And I love to use the Zip Halo with the crystal gel because it has glutathione in it and it helps to brighten up my pigment. And I will do anything and everything to help brighten up my pigment. And the zip treatments are really, really quick. So Founder's Favorite is 10 minutes and then the lift is 4 minutes. If that's all I'm doing that day, that's 14 minutes and I'm done for the day. This is really great to travel with, really small. It has a case that you can use to travel with. But those are my two favorite microcurrent devices that will be staying in my core routine. Next up is my Derm Revive laser. I love this laser. It is so fast and easy to use. I use it all over my face, on my hoods, on my pigment, on the sides of my neck, and it just couldn't be easier to use. They upgraded the sensors on the head, so the new version is a lot easier to use on the forehead where the skin is really thin and it's a really bony area. So I still have a little bit of trouble on a couple of spots using the new version, but for the most part, it's much better than the previous version. I have been using this for a while and the results have been really, really impressive. And once you get into maintenance mode after a couple of months, you're supposed to use this laser 1 to 2 times a month. However, I checked in with Derm and said, I'm not the normal customer because I'm trying to lift and tighten my hooded eyes and I have a lot of pigment. Can I use this device more than once or twice a month? They told me specifically that I can go off manual, and I know I'm a stickler for manuals. I tell everybody to stick to the manual, but in this case, Derm says it is their standard recommendation of 1 to 2 times per month in maintenance mode to accommodate users with sensitive skin. I do not have sensitive skin, and I tolerate this laser very well. So they said I can use it on my entire face and the sides of my neck once a week, but then I can treat my hooded eyes twice a week. And I was really glad to hear that because I just didn't think once a week or a couple times a month was going to be enough to keep these lifted and tight because the skin is different here than the rest of the skin on my face. And I just find it gets really droopy really quick. So I think my hoods are looking really good lately. I put on eyeshadow for this video and I was amazed that I could actually see my lid to put on eyeshadow. So I'm really, 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 really pleased how well this works on my hooded eyes. So I'm using it on my hoods twice a week. Then they said that I can use it on my melasma 2 to 3 times a week as long as my skin tolerates it well, and it does. So I'm using it 3 times a week on my melasma, and I'm doing 2 to 3 pulses on each melasma area, and I am so impressed with how much this has brightened up my pigment in just a short amount of time. Just a little over a month, I've been treating this new pigment flare, and it's gotten so much better from using this laser. I'm impressed, but it does target melanin in the skin, so that's what it's supposed to do, and it really does work. So once a week on my whole face and my neck, twice a week on my hoods, and 3 times a week I can do it on my pigment, as long as I space it out by at least 24 hours and I moisturize and use SPF during the day. And I'm always moisturizing my skin, and I'm always using a mineral sunscreen of at least SPF 50 or higher. So I'm covered on that. And I'm always wearing a hat and sunglasses outside, or I'm wearing my sun shield. So you can do that as well. If you are looking to use this laser more often than is recommended in the manual, just do some testing and see how your skin reacts. If your skin is tolerating it well, Just make sure you follow the guidelines of spacing it out by at least 24 hours. And another thing to note is when I'm doing my hooded eyes, I only pulse the laser right here on my orbital bone. I don't go anywhere near my eyeball. That is very important. You don't want to use a laser like this near your eyeball. I hold up my skin and I pulse the laser right on my orbital bone, and I do 4 pulses. And if I'm doing my face underneath my eye here, I stick to the orbital bone. I don't go anywhere near my eyeball because that's not how you're supposed to use this laser. If you do want a device that gets closer to your eye and can treat this under eye area here to rejuvenate your under eye area here, I recommend the Near Precision. And I'm still using this every single morning to brighten up my under eyes here and just keep it really smooth and tight. This laser only takes 2 to 3 minutes to do my whole face and neck. There's no gel, it's so fast. Then I grab this one and I do 4 pulses under each of my eyes, no gel. It's over so fast, and then I'm done with my lasers and I'm good to go. And I like to do these in the morning together when it's a day to do my lasers. And it's so easy. So this is my laser solution. And since I only recommend you use one heat-based device on the same area of skin in the same routine, I am only using the Dermaplaning Revive laser on my face and my neck. And I'm only using the Near Precision laser in the inner corners of my eyes, and that is it. I do not overlap these. I do not use any other heat-based device, which means I am not using the Neura Pro. I am not using any radio frequency device. I don't want to use too much heat in the longer term to damage my skin. I know there are other people who do use multiple heat-based devices at the same time, but I'm very conservative. I don't recommend you do that. If you do want to use more than one heat-based device, what I recommend is using one for 30 days or maybe 60 days, because it does take at least 30 days for new collagen to come to the surface of your skin so you can see the results. So 30 to 60 days is what I would recommend, and then take 3 to 4 days off. Give your skin some time to rest before you start using the next heat-based device. So for example, you could use the Dermaplaning Revive laser for 30 days, then take 3 to 4 days off, and then you could start using your NVIG Edge device for 30 days and then take 3 to 4 days off. That's an example of how you could rotate these devices into your routine. And why might you want to do that? Well, maybe during the summer, like me, you're seeing more of your pigment flare from heat, from being out in the sun, from hormones. That's what usually causes my pigment flares. And maybe you want to use a device like the Revive to brighten up your pigment during the summer. But then maybe when fall comes around, you want to use the NVIG Edge because you want to resurface your skin and smooth out your skin and work on texture and skin tightening. So both of these will tighten the skin, but this one brightens pigment better and this one resurfaces and retexturizes better. So it just depends, again, what are you trying to treat? I think my skin texture is fine. What I'm most worried about is my pigment, which is why I'm sticking with this laser. Next, moving on to red light therapy. No beauty device routine is complete without red light therapy. I swear by it. I use it almost every single day. And my top 2 masks are the Melasma Prana and the Current Body Series 2. And both of these masks also come with a neck and chest mask. So this is the one that comes with the Melasma Prana, and you can buy them in a set. And then Current Body also makes a Series 2 neck and chest mask as well, and you can buy these as a set. I have other LED masks in my collection that are great, but these are the ones I like to use the most, and I will explain why. And if you have a different one and it's working for you and you like it, keep using it. I'm not telling you you need to go buy another one or a new one. Again, I have the best of the best. I have every LED mask that I could ever want, and these are the ones that I'm using for me specifically. And I like to use the Melasma Prana. It offers pulse light, and I like to use the Melasma Green Rooibos Facial Spray, which is a antioxidant skincare product. And I like to spritz my face and my neck and then use the pulse light, which helps the product absorb deeper into my skin. And the pulse light also helps to optimize the results from red light. So it's smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles, it's helping to brighten my pigment and give me more even skin tone. Red light therapy just keeps my skin looking rejuvenated and fresh and youthful looking, and I swear by it. So I also really like that this mask covers the lips. So I get red light therapy on the lips, I get lip smoothing and lip plumping. Neck and chest mask also includes a little piece that you can put underneath your chin to tighten up your turkey neck. You're covered from head to heart, and that is the name of the set here, the Head to Heart collection. And I also like that this mask offers red, near infrared, and blue, and you can do just red only. You can do red and near infrared, or you can do red and blue. And I often have hormonal breakouts or I have congested skin on my forehead, and I like the option of being able to do red and blue together and pulse light, and the neck and chest mask is red and near infrared only. The treatment that I use with pulse light is only 6 minutes long, so it's a very quick treatment, and I like how this mask has never given me any problems with my pigment. It's never flared my pigment. It seems like it's a more gentle mask. It doesn't have as many LEDs with the super high irradiance, and it seems to just really keep my skin clear and bright and smooth over the many months that I've been using this mask. I really like it. It just gives me a lot of flexibility. Now, I also really like the Current Body Mask. Although it doesn't have coverage over the lips, it has really good coverage underneath the chin and jowls area here at the bottom here, you can see. It's really comfortable. It has more coverage and more lights than the Melasma mask. They designed this mask with deeper red wavelengths to treat areas that are of most concern that usually have more pronounced aging. And it's just red and near infrared. You turn it on or off. You cannot turn NIR off. Same thing as the neck and chest mask. It's red and near infrared and you cannot turn near infrared off. But you're covered from your head down to your chest because this mask has the chin strap. And the treatment takes just 10 minutes. I did a test with this mask where I did a 10-minute treatment every single day for 30 days straight, and it did not flare my pigment at all. So I didn't have any issues with it. I'm not worried about that with this mask. When I'm going to do my red light therapy treatment, I'm looking at my skin and I'm figuring out which one would be the better one for me to do today based on what my skin looks like. Do I have some breakouts? Do I have congested skin? Then I'm gonna do this one. Does my skin look pretty clear, but I still wanna smooth out fine lines and wrinkles? I'll do this one. So I'm picking which one I'm going to do on the day. And these masks will say you can use them 3 to 5 times a week. I'm generally doing them every single day, and that's fine. I just space them out at least 24 hours apart. And for the most part, I'm doing it 6 times a week, but 7 days would be great. But I do have it listed in my calendar here to do it every single day. Now, the next tool that I'm using regularly is my Brand Luxe Dermaplaning tool, and I'm going to explain to you why this has become a very important tool in my routine. Since I am no longer using the NVIG Edge device, because I'm using the Dermaplaning Revive laser, I'm not getting the skin resurfacing anymore from the NVIG Edge. When you use this device, it ablates the top layer of your skin, leaving your skin pretty sensitive, and you have to be really careful to not exfoliate your face, not to use AHAs. I wasn't even using physical exfoliants because I didn't want to overdo it, because over exfoliating can really make your skin aggravated. So I wasn't using anything to exfoliate my skin. Well, now that I'm using the Dermaplaning Revive laser only, that top layer of my skin is not being resurfaced. And so I'm using this dermaplaning tool because not only does it get rid of all of the thick peach fuzz that I have from perimenopause, menopause down here, it also exfoliates the top layer of dead skin. So it smooths out my skin and preps my skin to receive the skincare that I am putting on. I went to get a couple of facials over the past year or two. Both of the facialists separately told me that my skin was really dehydrated down here, and they were looking at my skin with the light. They said I had a lot of peach fuzz and that when I was putting on my skincare ingredients, it wasn't getting into my pores. It was sitting on top of that hair. So I think it's really important for me to use a tool like this. I use it just to get rid of all the hair and the dead skin, and it does not make my hair grow back thicker or darker, and my skin feels super soft, and the skincare penetrates better to help me treat my hyperpigmentation and melasma, and then my makeup goes on so much smoother as well. So that's another reason in the background of my thought process of why I would rather use the Revive laser, because then I can use a tool like this to get rid of all that hair, because while the NVIG Edge can resurface my skin, it's not gonna get rid of that hair, and I need to get rid of the hair so that my skincare can work properly. So that's really been a help, and I feel like my skin has felt much more hydrated since I started dermaplaning on a regular basis. And I think that is important for mature skin when we have so much peach fuzz coming in. Next are the 2 devices that I just got that I will be testing out over the next few weeks, and I will be making separate videos to tell you all about these devices. I am very excited about them. The first one is the Lima Pro that I just got today in the mail, and I was so excited to get it because I have been waiting so long to get this laser. And this is a cold laser. It is low-level laser therapy. It is not in conflict with any of the other device modalities that I'm showing you today. Because it is a cold laser, it is not using any heat, and it plays well with all of the other devices in my routine. I'm gonna start using this right away and see if I can track differences in my skin in terms of fine lines and tightening up my jowls and brightening up my pigment. I have the original Lima. This was taking me at least 30 minutes a day, every single day, to work across my entire face. And I just gave up because it's too time intensive and I just didn't have the patience for it. But now look how much bigger the Lima Pro is. It looks like 3 of the original lasers. So I'm gonna be able to get done with my whole face in just 10 minutes, and I'm probably gonna hold it on my pigment areas for a lot of the treatment and just see if I can get these to brighten up. I remember my Lima laser did a great job at brightening up my pigment, so I am so excited to test this. I'll probably be testing it most right here on my cheeks where I have the most pigment flare. I have so much melasma, and probably on my forehead here to focus on my 11s and my forehead lines and my crow's feet. Okay, fine, so I'll do my whole face. But I'm really excited that it's only gonna take 10 minutes a day, and I'm gonna track my results and see how that goes. And I will make a separate video all about this device so that you can learn more about it if you're interested in getting it. But I am so excited to have this in my collection, and I will let you know if it's going to take a spot in my core routine, because I don't know yet because I haven't tested it yet. But I have a feeling the answer will be yes. And then the next device that I have to test is the new electroporation device from Ladura. It's called the Lumio, and I am so excited about this. I actually helped them test out the prototype. I gave them a lot of feedback when they were developing the device. What a device like this does is it pushes the serums deeper into your skin, and it's similar to the Medicube Booster Pro, except this device does not have EMS, and I do not recommend using EMS at all on your face or your neck because it causes muscle twitching, which depletes ATP, and I think that is fine for your body, but not for your face. And so I don't use that at all. If you want to, you can, but I don't at all. I stick with just microcurrent. This device has gentle microcurrent in one of the modes. It has red light therapy, if you can hear it. It has the electroporation that's using a current to push serums deeper into your skin. I tested this device once so far. I really loved it. I'm going to be testing it after I finish my initial Lima laser test. I'm only going to test the Lima Pro for a week or so that I can make a video for you about it. Then I'll be testing the Lumio for about a week or so to share with you my feedback and make a video about it as well. Separate YouTube videos will be coming soon for both of these new devices, and then I will decide if and how they will stay in my core routine through the rest of the year. The next section are all the devices that I use sometimes or as needed. So the first modality in this category is microneedling. I know that microneedling is very popular in this community, and I like to use it sometimes to help with congested forehead skin or to help brighten up pigment. And I know a lot of you watching like to use it on your neck because you can use it on the center of your neck. So the 2 modalities you can use on the center of your neck that I've covered today are red light therapy, and I showed you the neck and chest masks, but you can also use microneedling on the center of your neck here. You're creating little microchannels in your skin, and then the serums can travel deeper into your skin to work harder for you. And also by putting holes in your skin, you're stimulating collagen production by forcing the skin to repair itself. So it is very popular. I don't use it very often, to be honest, because I have so many other devices in my collection. But when I do, I'm using 2 different brands. The one you see me talk about a lot on my YouTube channel is the Banisher micro stamping tool. And I love that they rolled out replaceable heads and many different needle sizes. You can use it on your face, including around the mouth and around the eyes, because they have really short needles for that. You can use it on your face, your neck, your chest, and they have new longer needles for your body. So I really like this because it's a stamp that goes in and out directly, straight into the skin and out, and there's no risk of dragging your skin or tearing your skin. It's really easy to keep it clean because it has a cap where you can sanitize the tool in alcohol. And I've really enjoyed using this tool over the past couple of years, and it's still in my collection, and I will use it sometimes as needed. And now the next microneedling tool that I have is from Dr. Penn. I just got some products from Dr. Penn, and I have not tested them yet because I have been extremely busy. This is a tool that looks like this, and you place on different needle head sizes depending on what area of your face or your neck or your chest you're trying to treat. It looks really easy when I watch the tutorial videos. Now, I have not tested this yet. I will be testing it soon, and then I will list links to shop this device no matter where you are in the world, because I did all the research to figure out where you can buy this in the US and globally. I got the tool that most of you told me to get. I have here the M8. But if you're looking for a microneedling tool, these are the two that I recommend. Definitely the Banisher because I've used this a lot. Maybe a little bit prematurely the Dr. Penn tool because I haven't tried it yet, but I know it's wildly popular in this community, so I have really high expectations for this tool. But more to come on this tool. Next is Acne. I cannot believe that I'm 50 years old and I'm still getting these hormonal breakouts. I thought I was done with all of that, but then my hormones are shifting and I have an appointment with my doctor in about a week, so I can't wait to tell her about this and see if she can help me with this because it is so painful. These cystic acne flare-ups are so painful and they leave really bad scars. So what I've been doing lately is testing out my new Zip Dot. This is a acne device. It looks like a cute little donut. You use it right over your acne flare-up, and I've been using it. It seems to be working pretty well. And it has microcurrent and nanocurrent, and it has the waveforms specifically that treat acne. So I've been doing this, but I also have my high frequency wand from Pure Daily Care. I really like to use this tool the most when I have an acne flare-up. I usually like to use this glass applicator here because it's big enough to cover my whole acne flare-up because it's usually a pretty big surface area. And I just place the wand in here, and this is the clinical device. So each of the 6 wands include argon and neon. So you're getting anti-acne and anti-aging with every glass applicator, every attachment you use. So I like to use this one right here on my hormonal acne flare-up. If I have this device out and I'm treating my acne, I'm going to grab the comb attachment and use it on my hairline. It's so easy to pop it in and use it for a couple of minutes to stimulate hair follicle growth. I'm definitely doing that. I don't generally use this device for anti-aging because I have so many other devices in my collection, but you certainly could. I'm mostly using this device for acne and hair. The next device I use to treat sinus congestion, and I have a lot of sinus congestion. I'm on sinus medicine right now and I always have clogged sinuses, so I love this Therabody device. It has the percussive massage that you're used to from the body devices, but this is for face. And so you turn it on. It feels so amazing on my sinuses. Oh my gosh, I need to use this. I'm gonna use this later after this video. It feels so amazing. This is the attachment that I like to use because it's a little pointy and now it has makeup all over it. To clean that off. I love to use this attachment because it's pointy and it gets right into my sinuses, and I like to use it along my orbital bone here where I have sinus pressure, and right here in between my eyes where I have sinus pressure, and then like on my temples, and it really helps to relieve pressure. And I also really like to use it around my jaw area because I grind my teeth and I clench my jaw while I'm sleeping, and it can be pretty painful, so this really helps to loosen that all up. And I just love this device. It's so great. It also has microcurrent and LED and cooling and heating rings. I don't use those modes on this device at all because I am covered already with microcurrent and LED, and I don't use heat on my face. If I do want to use cooling on my face, I have the other device from Therabody or Theraface. It's the depuffing wand. I love this device. I love to use it when I first wake up in the morning to depuff my eyes, and it has a cooling mode and a heating mode, and I love to use the cooling mode. You can see it's blue when it's cooling. See how the light is blue? You can glide it across your dry skin when you wake up in the morning, and it just feels amazing. It moves lymph and it depuffs your whole face, and I love how it feels. And then you can also switch to the heat mode if you wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of heat, especially on my face because of my melasma, but it's good to use heat to stretch out your neck and maybe your jawline here to just lengthen and stretch out that whole area. And then I would use cooling everywhere else because I don't want to heat up my face. Really, really been loving this device, but I don't use it all the time. I just grab it when I need it, when my face is looking puffy or my eyes are looking puffy. But I don't drink alcohol anymore, and since I stopped that about a year ago, I've noticed my face really isn't as puffy anymore. But I still do like this when I look puffy from too much salt or not enough sleep, for example. Keeping on the theme of puffy eyes, I love my Dr. Rajani LED eye patches, and these have been really popular in the community. I know so many of you love him. This is a great device because it comes in a set, so you can do both your eyes at the same time, and you just snap on these little modules. I have a video where I go into more depth about this device, so I can link to that if you want to go watch it. But you basically just put these little hydrocolloid patches on, and then they stick on your face. There's red and near infrared, but I like to use the PEMF mode because that's the mode that will de-puff your eyes. And that makes this device different from any other eye device that I have. I don't have any other PEMF eye device. And I think that's what makes this very popular in the community and why I love to use this. So these are in my collection on an as-needed basis. Now, if I'm going to an event and I want to plump up my lips, I love to use the new NuFace Fix. There is a lip plumping routine in the app, so you can just connect the device to your phone and go to the app and you can follow along so you don't have to memorize it. But I have tried it, and it was created by a makeup artist that's known for his iconic lip looks. It works and it's awesome, and I love to use this before an event just to get my lips plumped. It only lasts for that evening for the event. So it's a perfect tool to just grab, and it only takes like 2 to 3 minutes, I think, to plump up your lips and then put on your lip product, and your lips will look amazing. This is such a good tool to have in your collection for when you want that extra lip plumping look, but you don't want to do lip filler. Next, I have a whole pile of devices that I am no longer using, and I'm going to explain to you why. And remember, these devices are not bad. They are all wonderful. I love them all. It's just that I have so many devices and I cannot possibly use them all. And so I picked the best ones for me already with just the devices I'm using in my core routine. My schedule is already super packed. I just don't have room for all the rest of these devices. I can't do them all, and you shouldn't do them all. So I will walk you through all the devices I'm no longer using and why. So first up, we already talked about this, but I'm no longer using the original Lima laser because the new one is so much bigger. And I will be able to get done with my entire face in just 10 minutes. If you have the original laser and it's working for you and you have the time to use it, it's a great device. It definitely works. I just gave up because I didn't have the patience and time to use it every single day for at least 30 minutes. But I do think I'm going to be able to work this one into my routine more often. Next up is the Nira Pro. I am no longer using the Nira Pro laser because I found the Dermaplaning Revive laser to be much faster, much easier to use, much stronger, and it does a better job at brightening up my pigment. I have used the Nira Pro laser a lot in the past, and it definitely works to smooth fine lines and tighten your skin. However, I like that I don't have to use the Dermaplaning Revive every single day. And also, the Dermaplaning Revive laser takes about 3 minutes to get done with my whole face and neck. The Nira Pro laser does take a little bit longer to get done with the treatment, especially if you're doing your chest. You can use this laser on your chest, and I don't use the Dermaplaning Revive laser on my chest at all, but if you want to use a device on your chest, this would be a good pick for you. This would also be a better pick for you if you like to do the same thing every day. If it's easier for you to stay consistent when you do the same device every day, for example, you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you grab your Nira laser, and you do the treatment all over your face and your neck, your chest, then this is a great pick for you. Because I'm following a schedule and doing something different every single day anyway, it's not a big deal for me. But like I always say, the best device for you is the one you're actually going to use. And if you're more likely to use something that you can grab without thinking about it, then this is still a great pick. However, for me, because I'm trying to brighten up my pigment and tighten up my skin and smooth fine lines and wrinkles, the Dermaplaning Revive laser is a better pick for me. If you're traveling, this would be a better pick because you charge it up and it's cordless and it's really easy to travel with. The Dermaplaning Revive laser has a really clunky plug-in setup and it's not easy to travel with at all. So that's something to consider. Next up are a couple of microcurrent devices that I no longer use. I do not use the Foreo Bear 2. The microamps are too high. It's too strong for what I need. I get what I need out of the MyoLift Mini and the Zip Halo, especially because I have mature skin, and I just don't think this is a good fit for me, for what I need, and I don't think that stronger is necessarily better. When you get up to really high microamps, it causes your muscles to twitch, and that's something that I'm just not trying to do. If you're using the Foreo Bear or the Bear 2 and it's working for you, great, stick with it. It's just not my top pick. Similarly, with the NuFace Trinity Plus, I like this device a lot. However, I would never use this on my depressor muscles or my neck or my forehead or my 11s or my crow's feet because I don't want to tighten those areas. And this device only offers muscle tightening. Now, it does have a really cool boost button to give you 425 microamps. If you're trying to lift up and carve out your cheekbones and your jawline, that could be a really great reason to use this device, or to lift and tighten up your hooded eyes. You could do that with this device as well if you just want to keep it on the jawline and the cheeks and the hooded eyes. However, if you're going to get a microcurrent device, you should get one that can treat your whole face. And I just don't think these are a good fit for mature faces, especially as we're aging and we want to lengthen out our necks and our depressor muscles and our forehead and our 11s and our crow's feet. So these are not top picks for me. However, if you have these devices and they're working for you, I think they are fantastic devices. I do like that the Trinity Plus allows you to pop off the top and put on the red light attachment. So you could, in theory, treat your depressor muscles, your neck, your 11s, your forehead, your crow's feet with the red light attachment, and then pop back on the microcurrent head and do the rest of your face. But I want to treat my whole face with the MyoLift and the Zip Halo. So that's what I do, and that's what I'm going to continue doing moving forward. There's a few LED masks that I'm not using anymore. I'm not using the Foreo FAQ LED mask because it has more wavelengths than I need. I only like to use the 3 most clinically proven wavelengths: red, near infrared, and blue. That's anti-aging and anti-acne, and that's what's important to me. This has a lot of lights that I don't need, and also it doesn't have great coverage. You can see the entire eye area is not covered. You're not getting coverage around the eyes at all. You're not getting lip coverage, and also you're not getting forehead or 11s coverage because this little module sits like right where you would want those lights. I am not using this because I don't think this is a good fit for mature skin. It could be a really good fit for younger people, but for 40 and up, I don't think this is a good fit, especially not for me. I really like my Shark and Eye Restore LED masks as well, but I'm not using those because I find the Current Body Series 2 and the Melasma mask to give me all that I need. I love that they both come in sets from head all the way down to chest, and they're really easy to use. And the Shark mask is really cool in that it has those cooling under eye pads. However, I find it much easier to grab my Theraface depuffing wand if I want to focus on my eyes and then use one of my other LED masks. If you're really into those cooling under eye pads and you want red, blue, and your infrared, that would be a great mask for you. The Eye Restore is another mask that I'm not using. I do like that it offers red, blue, and near infrared all together in one mask, but both the Shark and the Eye Restore masks don't have any coverage under the chin here and the jowls, and that's very important to me to keep this area really tight and smooth. And I know it's very important to many of you watching, but the Shark and the Eye Restore are really great masks. I really do love them. They're just not a good fit for me. I'm not using any of the LED eye masks that I have. I have one from Current Body. I have one from Dr. Dennis Gross. There's one from Eye Restore. Again, those are really great devices. However, I'm already using my masks that provide full coverage, and I have the Dr. Rajani patches that I can use for my under eyes if my eyes are looking a little puffy and I want to use PEMF. That's what I'm using. That works for me. That works for my schedule. So that's why I don't use those eye devices anymore. Now moving on to hair devices. I am no longer using my Foreo FAQ hair device because I have the Eye Restore helmet that I wear and I go hands-free. This device is really awesome because it has LED and red light therapy and T-sonic vibration. So you massage your scalp and it feels amazing, but it's manual. So you have to be working it across your scalp and your head, and I just found that when I had this in my schedule, I wasn't using it. I wasn't grabbing it because you have to manually do it, and I just find the Eye Restore helmet to be so much easier to use, so that's what I've been using. That's what I've been staying most consistent with. Same thing with the Ladora Duo device. This is a great device. I was using this for the longest time. It only takes 5 minutes a day. It has microcurrent and LED and serum pods and vibration, and it massages your scalp and it feels amazing. But it's a manual thing and you have to be holding it, working it across your scalp. And I have something that's hands-free, and when something is hands-free, that's the one I'm going to use. The higher dose LED hat is really cool and you do wear it. However, it only has LED and not laser, and the coverage is not as great as my Iristor helmet. The LEDs in the hat don't even cover the hairline, and this is where I had the most hair thinning when I started with perimenopause, and this hat doesn't cover that area. It seems like it would be better if you have hair thinning like on the top of your head or the back of your head, anywhere on your scalp that's like here and not here. So I do think this is really cool. It's really easy because it's hand-free. It's only 10 minutes of treatment. I'm not using it because it doesn't have very good coverage and it doesn't include laser. The last category is radio frequency devices, and I am no longer using radio frequency because I'm only using the Dermaplaning Revive laser, and that is my one heat-based device that I'm using. Yes, I am using the near precision laser in the inner corners of my under eye, but those are the only two lasers that I'm using, and I'm not using radio frequency. I have my radio frequency devices from Tripolar, and I have my NUA radio frequency device. These are excellent devices. They all work. They are wonderful, and the Envic Edge is really great at resurfacing the top layer of skin and tightening your skin. You don't use gel. It's really quick. It just takes 4 minutes to get done with your whole face and the sides of your neck. And then the Tripolar Stop VX is also really great because it offers skin tightening. There's also a muscle tightening mode that you can use on the lower portion of your face to lift, tighten, and tone these muscles. However, I wouldn't want to use it on my depressor muscles. And I want to use microcurrent, how I explained earlier, just in this area here. So a device like this doesn't really fit into my routine anymore, so I'm not using this. And then I love the NUA device. I recommend this all the time because it is pure radio frequency. All it does is tighten the skin, and it does a really good job at tightening your skin. The treatments are really easy. It's just 4 minutes per area, and if you're just working on your jowls, for example, you can do 4 minutes and 4 minutes and be done in 8 minutes. All of these radio frequency devices, you don't use them every day, so that's really good, but the treatments tend to be a little bit longer than the other devices that I have. However, I like to recommend the NUA still because when you can get it on sale and use my promo code stacked on top of the sale, you can get this device for just over $200, and that is an incredible deal. This is the best value radio frequency device that I have in my collection. The Tripolar devices are more expensive because they're offering more features. This offers skin tightening and skin resurfacing. This offers skin tightening and muscle tightening, and they're expensive. And the NUA just offers skin tightening, so you can get it at a much lower price point. And if you are looking to tighten your skin and this is the right price, grab it because it really does work. I do think that they're excellent devices. They just don't fit into my current 2025 routine. Another thing to consider is that I'm using my devices to maintain my face, and I don't have a lot of loose skin or sagging or jowling yet. And what I'm using in my core routine can help maintain how my face looks. If you have more aggressive skin laxity or sagging and you really want to work on tightening up this whole area here, I do think a radio frequency device might be a better pick than using the Dermaplaning Revive laser. So it could be something to consider because that's what these devices are really good at. So I'm not using these right now, but I am going to keep these in my collection because if things change as I'm getting older and I do start to see more laxity or more sagging, I might switch over to a radio frequency device. But for now, I'm really happy with the devices I'm using in my core routine, including microcurrent, red light therapy, and my Dermaplaning Revive laser. And because hooded eyes is a big concern for me, and I found the Dermaplaning Revive laser to do a really good job at tightening up my hoods, that's why I like to keep using it while it's out on the rest of my face and my neck, and it's a really quick treatment and it works really well for my schedule and my skin concerns. Lastly, I'm going to walk you through my device schedule calendar and how I manually fill this in, and I will talk you through it and see if it will help you create your own calendar. What I'm thinking about is if this does not help you enough, I could create a packet of PDFs, maybe like a 10 to 20 page PDF document that you could download as a premium product. So you would pay like $19, for example, and I would have different offerings starting at $19, and you could download the PDF and there would be different schedules for different devices you're using or different skin concerns you're after. And I could come up with various scenarios, and one of them would be close enough to the schedule that you would want for yourself, and you could take that and edit it a little bit to make it your own. So let me know if you think that that would be helpful. It would be a lot of work on my part to create that PDF, But if that would be helpful for you, I'd be happy to create that so you can download it. So let's get into this. So I know in my core routine, I am using my hair helmet, my MyLift devices, my LED mask, and my Dermaplaning Revive laser. And Nira is also on there. Those are my core devices. So how do I work those into my schedule? Well, I'm using my helmet 3 times a week, every other day. So I pick Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So in the calendar goes eye restore, goes helmet, 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 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I do that for the whole month of August. Then next I want to use my Zip Halo device twice a week. And so I want to do that Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I put in the calendar zip, zip, Tuesday, Thursday through the whole month of August. Then I want to do the MyLift gloves routine 1 or 2 times a month. And it makes most sense for me to do that routine over the weekend because that's when I have more time to focus on a MyLift gloves routine. So I have penciled in the 10th of August and the 24th of August, which are 2 Sundays for me to do that routine. And if I have time on Saturday, on the 9th or the 23rd, I could do it on that Saturday. But I know that 2 weekends in the month of August, I'm going to do that gloves routine. I can make it work for me. So that's how it's in my calendar. I want to use an LED mask every day of the week. And it may be that I actually only do it 6 times a week, and that's fine, but I put LED mask on every day of the whole month. So LED, and Nira is also on there every single day because I'm going to do the inner corners of my eyes every single day. So I have LED and Nira for every single day of August. And it's okay if I miss a day here or there, but that is the plan, to do it every day. And then the one that's the most complicated is my Revive laser, because I'm doing that 3 times a week, but on Mondays, I'm doing my whole face and my hooded eyes. So I put that in the Revive, everything. Every Wednesday, I'm doing my Revive laser just to spot treat my melasma. And I have melasma here on my cheeks and a little bit here on my forehead. So I have Revive, melasma for every Wednesday of the month. And then on Friday, I'm also using my Revive laser, but I'm doing my melasma and my hoods. I have Revive, hoods, and melasma for every Friday of the month. So I'm doing it 3 times a week, but I'm doing different parts of my face depending on what day of the week it is. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a Revive day, but I have to look at my calendar to see what is it that I'm treating that day. So that's how I came up with my entire calendar for August. And then if I decide I'm going to use the Lima laser and the Lumio device, I will work that in accordingly. I know you use the Lumio 3 times a week for just a few minutes. It's a quick treatment. And the Lima laser, I'll be using 10 minutes every single day. I will figure out where that's going to fit into my core schedule and make a new schedule for September. So I will carry everything forward from August and then layer in when I'm going to use the Lumio and the Lima Pro. So that's how I do it. I just figure out which devices am I using, how often am I going to use them, and then work out how does it work in my schedule and which devices can I do on the same day. And there are days where I'm using the helmet and the Revive laser and LED and the Near Precision on my under eyes. There are days that I'm using many devices, but there are other days where I'm just using the Zip Halo plus an LED mask and the Nira for my inner corners of my eyes. So this works really, really well for me, but as you can see, it's a very manual process. I can see like what devices do I need to do today so I can work my day around getting those done because this is my job and it's very important for me to get my devices done. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something and you found this video really helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.